given this nice paper. Friends, now before we depart for group discussion, we have already given query to group leaders. In addition to that, if they can add something in the given time, there is nothing, no problem. But our Praful Bhai wants to say something about branch transfer before the group disperse. I think. Praful Bhai.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yesterday and today, I found that plethora of case law are being discussed. In my view, the time when we started with Ayasha as the president, where R.V. Patel, Dikashet, Surti and everybody were there, what we used to do is take this section, read it minutely, have a thought or across the counter or across the group, and then take out the correct meaning of the section. Whether a judgment or B judgment makes no difference, because we are here for refreshing our own brain. That's apart. One thing which I thought I should verify and share with you is the impact of Section 6A amendment, by which the F form is held to be mandatory, and whether in absence of F form, branch transfer can be allowed or not. Now friends, kindly see the text of Section 6A itself. What does it say? It was as it was earlier. It doesn't begin with notwithstanding anything contained in the Act. It does not override any other provisions of the Act. What is stated is, last sentence is added, and if the dealer fails to furnish such goods, such goods shall be deemed. I think there is something wrong. And if the dealer fails to furnish, I think there is a printing mistake. Furnish such form, such goods shall be deemed for all parties of the Act as to have occasion as a result of sale. I think there is some mistake in the printing, but let us know. Makes no difference. The question basically, what does it say? If you don't produce F form, it will be deemed to be a sale. Now, as I stated earlier, 6A does not start with a non-obstinate clause. It has no overriding effect. Therefore, the principle of Section 3A as to when can you call an interstate sale? When there is a movement of goods from one state to another in pursuance of a pre-existing contract. Contract of what? Contract of sale. And the definition of sale, if you see kindly, as given in the Act itself, what does it say? It should be transfer of property in goods from one person to another. That's the basic ingredient under the Sale of Goods Act also. And that should be supported by a consideration. In other words, for a valid transaction of sale, there has to be two entities or two persons, one seller, another buyer, and that should be with the offer and acceptance apart, there has to be a consideration flowing from the buyer to the seller. These are basic ingredients under the Sale of Goods Act, and that has not been done away with as far as the definition of sale is concerned. And therefore, in my view, you see, what does it say? 6A. Again, I will revert it. It says transfer of such goods to another person or a branch. Now, so therefore, this transfer it says such goods are transferred to any other place of his business, that is branch, or to his agent or principal. See, this is an alternative. Transfer is to branch or to his agent or a principal. Now, there are cases where agent is not under the Agency Act, but principal to principal, say stockist, for sale, or say sole agent, sole selling agent. They are all principal to principal, and the sole selling agent also transfers the amount to the principal in anticipation of its sale. Therefore, I for one would feel that as far as branch transfer is concerned, there are no two legal entity. Whether my goods are with A place or B place, still in the balance sheet it will be shown as stock in hand. And therefore, in my view, even if a form is there or not, it will have no application as far as branch transfer is concerned. It will be applicable only and only when the transfer takes place from principal to agent, that is principal to principal way only. Then only you can say there are two entities, and that deeming provision can apply. You are well aware there is a Supreme Court judgment, the latest Supreme Court judgment, which I referred in the study circle meeting, that the deeming provision, whenever it is inserted in any provision, the purpose behind this has to be considered, and you cannot extend the deeming provision to anything and everything. And therefore, on that analogy also, I feel that it's a matter for us to take it, challenge it, where the branch transfers are concerned. Thank you very much.
Tea would be served in the group only, so I request everyone, and we will reassemble at 12:45. Please.
That also.
Tamil Nadu and Union Territory of Daman.
Selling dealer should be valid. How it is selling dealer coming into picture?
The selling dealer does not come into the picture because we have to go to the act. We have to go to the act, and in that case, I think we can.
Who issues the C form?
The purchasing dealer. The purchasing dealer.
Purchasing stint should be valid.
Purchaser stint should be valid. Beyond that,
I mean, how does the seller's tin comes into the way?
come into the picture.
C-form can only be issued to a registered dealer.
Buyer.
Buyer registered.
See, who applies for C form?
Purchaser.
Who's relatively machine? Who's purchaser?
But I will issue C-form only when I have purchased against C-form. So anyone can sell against C-form when he is a registered dealer.
Not at all. Any dealer making interstate trade.
Every dealer. See, I think 8.1 is very clear.
Very clear in this presentation.
No, I think 8.1 is very clear. We have to go by 8.1. Every dealer who in course of interstate trade or commerce sells to a registered dealer. So registered dealer has to be a purchaser, that is, I mean, that is, should be registered. So I think here we are unanimous that it's an unreasonable decision put by the commission, which there are plenty others.
one among the others. Existing to fit everybody into the system, basically. Of course, the object is laudable. Over a period of time, when you have them disciplined into it, this will be very so that they can go into dematerialized form. Dematerialized.
Okay,
Dematted form.
Dematted. No, but in the current situation, it is, of course, I mean,
contract in a particular state and selling material to the employer by availing the benefit of section 6.2 should be careful in the documentation.
With illustration, Deepak will again explain.
Question is that
Kunta page hai?
53.
query is that whether a works contractor while executing a contract can effect sale by transfer of document of title to goods by way of section 6.2
क्या भी दो ही आएंगे ना, एक आएगा डायरेक्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्टर आओ
Interstate works contract. First, we suppose interstate works contract. नहीं समझो printing contract है.
Works contract means direct accretion, means direct transfer. Accretion.
use the goods in the job. So when there are two different stages of transfer property in both the provisions, it is difficult.
so it may be possible कि कोई partial काम है उसका कि एक जॉब यहाँ पे उसने फिक्सेशन किया और अदर स्टेट में जाके उसको फाइनली कंक्लूड किया तो ऐसे जैसे ट्रंकिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स में होता है
Taxable event क्या है? Taxable
See,
event क्या
होना
है?
चाहिए but difficult है.
Taxable
नहीं
event
हो
क्या है?
सकेगा.
We have to consider the taxable event. It is at the time
but here they have
accretion to the property.
given one case of Siemens India 132 ST.
Because as you rightly said again, though the local rate by notification is less and by schedule is more, the C form is a requirement. It is a requisite. But if the local rate by schedule itself is lower than 2%, then it is not an essential.
No, if you read the section 8.1,
Rate of tax. Every dealer who in the course of interstate trade or commerce sales to a registered dealer of the description referred to in subsection not a sale to registered dealer, but unregistered dealer by any dealer on his turnover in so far as the turnover or any part thereof relates to the sale of goods in the course of interstate trade or commerce, not falling within subsection 1, shall be at a rate applicable to the sale or purchase of such goods inside the appropriate state under the sales tax law of that state.
so applicable rates, they distinguish between schedule rate and applicable rate. So applicable, you read the schedule as well as notification. That is the applicable. This is what Surdees have had once in prevailing rate जो है वो वहाँ applicable.
CFOM is mandatory.
No, but the question posed was whether it is essential.
So we can say CFOM is mandatory, but not.
No, that will be contradicting our own things. We will say it is not essential. That's all. We will just put a answer to the question.
It is not essential. If it is below them, then this can
Yes.
कि नहीं कंसल्ट आप पूछ जाओ, लेकिन मैंने CFOM नहीं दिया उसका क्वेश्चन है. तो क्या इफेक्ट क्या आएगा? CFOM नहीं देंगे तो इफेक्ट क्या आएगा? Local tax, whatever local tax you have to charge. CFOM नहीं दिया, बराबर? Then you have to charge local rate, which
Local
is
rate is less than 2%.
हाँ, तो फिर बस why?
charge me.
खूप साहेब राव. बस आया मागे.
राव साहब, कुछ है difficulty? समझने में नहीं है।
समझने में तो नहीं है. We have decided to put it on you only.
क्या पूजा पाठ करते कर रहे तो होना ही है। अभी तो ऐसा ही टाइम है, कोई परचेस करता है तो पहले
भगवान
का नाम की भरेगा।
48 में किया नहीं किया सब.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
हमारा काम हो गया।
Yes, thanks a lot, sir.
Our act should be our Bible. Anything? Kai sir? Our respective act should be our Bible for that. Our respective act should be our Bible for us.
Yes.
Kelani sahab mentioned. पार्थ ऊपर गेलानी साहेब काही महाराष्ट्रामध्ये फॉर्म से एप्लीकेशन नाही ना त्या ऊपरच clearly says if you are not
उन्होंने थोड़ा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट दिया क्वेश्चन 4 ही डिस्कस
4 या 5?
और सबका है सर एक थोड़ा बोला जोर से बोलो सही बता दी
Question number 4. The party has dispatched back goods after job work, which was works contract to his customer. The job work is asking for F form as well as C form from the customer. Whether the requirement is valid, whether the customer can obtain both C and F. That is the question. So,
who is customer
himself is पाठवणारा का job work करणारा?
job worker. You are my customer. You have sent goods to me for job work. I did it, which is a works contract again because I am using my own. For me. How can it happen works contract?
you are the customer. Only two
Only
parties.
customer. I am doing work where I am using my goods also. So there is a transfer of property to you. So there is a works contract as well as transfer of goods on job work.
Now goods cannot be segregated.
No, goods cannot be.
ये लोग का जवाब आपका इसका यूज किया हुआ इसके किताब में क्या
Any possibility to get it allowed?
Yes, we can. No, he says we can prove that. So even if the bill of lading is defective, does
We
it
can
mean
produce the
that
documents.
we produce supporting documents?
Supporting
Clearly because power buyer
we
name
can
is not
show.
there, is not.
We have purchased the goods from such and such person.
Yes.
सर ये क्वेश्चन जो है ना इट इज विद रेफरेंस टू सूरत डाई स्टफ
परत गाइस सब परत बात साहब
Claim of sale against Form 814B.
यानी फोजर में
या विचार
क्वेश्चन में
तोच प्रश्न आम्हाला जरा आहे.
सूरत
On page 57, Suraj Dashram Private Limited is and observe that due to erosion of name of foreign buyer on bill of lading, the 5(3) claim is disallowed. Whether any possibility to get it allowed?
बोलो possibility है.
Yes.
रेफरेंस टू
yes possibility is there. You can
other documents
फॉर रेफरेंस एक्चुअली एप्लीकेशन रेफरेंस तुम्हाला डिस्कस क्वेरी का एक प्रॉब्लम
देखो
देता
प्लेटफॉर्म
होना
में क्या लिखा है? Certified copy
सूरत
of
डाई
the-
स्टफ में क्या हुआ क्या बोला कि सेल इज डिसअलाउड बिकॉज़ ऑफ इरेजर
Yes.
ओके एक खाली लाइसेंस इज
sorry items covered by 3 and 4
ये क्या रे?
लाइसेंस में आ गया ना भाई मेरे तो क्या ना अभी लाइसेंस में आ गया ना भाई सीबी
चलो सीबी साहब.
Anil bhai, please occupy the desk. Vijay Sachiv, Amul Sirode.
Chairman of the Associate Secretaries of Daya Seniors and Friends. The voters posed to us in group 1. I read out them before I answer the same. The first question is whether a works contractor, while executing a contract, can effect sale by transfer of documents
some light on it. Now the second question is whether dispatch proof for interstate is must on whether receipt of C form can be a sufficient proof. We all agree that the dispatch proof is a requisite and it is a must, because when we do a sale under interstate sales, movement of goods should be proved, and for that a dispatch proof will be a requisite. My third question put to us was whether an unregistered dealer can effect sale against C form. The group answered it as yes. An unregistered dealer can effect a sale against C form. Though the answer is yes, there is a prohibition to collect C forms, and also an unregistered dealer cannot collect tax or CST.
There are two prohibitions. One is, what are the prohibitions?
Collecting tax, yes. The unregistered dealer cannot collect tax, and the further provisions or penalty provisions will be applicable. Now the query number 4 was, in C form, there is one certificate as under.
Please friends, listen it silently because these questions are given to group, so all may not be knowing. So just listen the question also carefully and let us have a good fruitful discussion.
Yeah, the query number 4. In C form, there is one certificate as under. It is further certified that I/VM are not registered under Section 7 of the said Act in the state of dash, is any state, in which the goods covered by this form will be delivered. If this certificate is not filled, whether a C form is valid, the group answer was, it is a valid C form, but it will be valid subject to the correction of C form. The C forms has to be given to the seller to be corrected, and once it is corrected, it will be valid.
So what correction will be done?
Collection is filling up the, completing the C form, filling the C form and getting the C form completed in all respects.
But how seller will able to say that you fill up this or correct this, on what ground?
No, we will be sending it to the seller to correct it, because it has been treated as defective C form, and it will be sent to the seller.
Seller will be approaching to the purchasing dealer and getting it corrected from the department.
Yes.
But on what ground you will sell it back to the buyer? On what ground? Why you have got a doubt? See, this certificate says it is further certified that we are not registered under Section 7 of the said Act in the state of and so and so, in which the goods covered in this form are will be delivered. Now this is the certificate to be given by the buyer. Now when he is supposed to give it, first of all? After delivery.
Yeah.
But in what circumstances?
This certificate is relatable only if I am registered in one state and I have purchased food and delivered in the another state. In that state I am not registered. So only in such circumstances this clause is required to be filled. Otherwise, normal course in which I am registered, I am purchasing food in that state, that it is not relevant certificate.
Right. So now that is exactly the position. So seller cannot raise objection. It is only buyer who knows whether you can deliver, whether it is registered in that state or not. So every time it is not required, seller should send it back for getting it filled up. If it is not filled up, the presumption will be that he is registered in the state in which he is taking delivery, so there is no need to fill up this form.
According to 8.3.1, the seller is required to confirm himself about the inclusion of that certificate, inclusion of that commodity from classification of commodity in the past certificate.
That is what I am telling you, Bhub Sahab. If I have got a knowledge, at the most at that time I can tell him that you get it corrected.
That's why.
But today I have no knowledge. I am only relying upon a certificate. When it is not filled up, that means he is registered the state in which deal is taken. So no need to mention that.
That's okay.
Right. So this question can arise only on the buyer's point of view. So according to me, in no circumstances, seller's certificate CFOM should be considered to be invalid. If there is not filled up, it is a buyer's mistake and buyer should be punishable for that, in spite of it is required to be filled up.
And it has been reflected earlier that no, seller can never be put to trouble out of the defect because the declaration is
some of the things, now suppose RC number is not there, date of effect is not there, seller can be affected. Not filling up this blank format or certificate, seller cannot be to disadvantage according to me.
Seller cannot be punished for that.
Now the authorities are raising such type of issues. I have come across one issue where he has disallowed because this column is not filled up.
Okay.
According to me, that is not required on the seller's part.
Correct, but seller.
So in those circumstances, CFOM can be disallowed only based on not filling up that place or that place of state.
But I have some reservations about that.
I thank our chairman for putting light on it. The query number 5 was on page 31 in para 3. Paper writer has raised issue about rate of tax. I read out the para. If the local rate of tax on the goods sold interstate is below the rate of tax as prescribed under section 8(1) of the CST Act, then such local rate of tax shall be applicable for interstate sales of those goods. Further, whether CFOM is an essential for such an interstate sale. So our group has answered that prior to 1/4/2007, though the local rate of tax was less than 2%, even then the CFOM was required. After the amendment, that is from after 1/4/2007, after the amendment, the local rate of tax is applicable and as such no CFOM will be essential.
So lower rate will apply without CFOM.
Yes. Now query number 6. On page 31 in para 5, paper writer observes that selling dealer can sell any goods to purchasing dealers against CFOM. Do you agree with the above? The effect of the judgment of Supreme Court in case of radio and electricals 18 STC 222 and of Punjab and Haryana High Court in case of Milk Food Limited 59 VST 1 vis-a-vis a judgment of MST Tribunal in case of Island City Motors Private Limited VAT SA number 99 of 2011 dated 14 June 2012 may be considered. I read out this. Para 5. Whether it is essential for the selling dealer to get the goods to be sold specified in his registration certificate. The group answered was, the selling dealer can sell the goods though it is not incorporated in his registration certificate. But however, he has to take precautions that the goods what he is selling is incorporated in the certificate of the purchasing party or the purchasing dealer. Yes.
Something contradictory is coming. On one hand you are saying you can sell it. On other hand you are saying still you should take precautions. So what exactly?
No, precautions that the goods are incorporated in the purchasing RC certificate. The purchasing buyers are.
So according to you, we cannot sell any goods. We have to see the purchaser certificate. Now what is the proof opinion? Question by. Purchasing dealer certificate.
Purchasing section 83 says that then only that is the condition. But whether that item should be incorporated in the selling dealer certificate or not.
Selling dealer certificate we are not last.
That question was not there.
We are only for purchasing.
Okay, then 83 is required that it should be there in the, that is the condition, right? That one precaution he has to take selling dealer, that it is there in the purchasing dealer is a class, as a class. Then only as per.
So how will take that precaution?
We can add a copy of that registered certificate at the most. We can ask.
Have you got a power to ask for that? Under the Act, can you say a buyer and you said your RC copy also.
Because since
Let me examine what goods you have mentioned.
otherwise then I would charge more percent. Since I will decide is it 2% or not. And that is the requirement that you read section 8183 together, it says it is required. That is the option.
But I have given you that judgment of Ireland. In that case, similar situation has happened. Officer has disallowed, it was sold to Alok Textile Mills, supposing. These motor vehicles were sold, our passenger motor vehicle. Now officer said that in textile business this may not be useful, it is wrongly purchased, so he disallowed it to the seller. Now we went to tribunal. Before tribunal this radio electrical was cited that what is my responsibility to bring the C-form and whether registered or not has to be proved as per the manner prescribed in the rule. That is in the C-form itself there is a clause saying that the goods are